All rumors are pointing to Sony releasing a new PlayStation Portable, a PSP 3 or a PS Vita 2 if you will. Around 13 years after its original release, I think the world is finally ready for the PlayStation Vita. The Vita is the first thing to come to mind because back in 2011 it flopped so hard that it kicked Sony out of the portable market. But I think it's time for a triumphant return. Welcome to Zesty as Tech, by the way. This video is more for your ears than your eyes, so feel free to throw me into another tab. Back in the days of the Vita, Sony wanted to bring full console gaming experiences to their handheld, but I don't think that's what people were looking for at the time. The market just wasn't there. People wanted quick, bite-sized, mobile-style games. Mobile devices were exploding, and both Nintendo and Sony were kind of struggling to find their place in the world. Sony never really found their place, but Nintendo at least knew to make games for the 3DS that were mobile first. They were generally meant to be bite-sized experiences, for better or for worse. Think like Luigi's Mansion versus Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Everything's mission-based, everything wraps up pretty quick. Super Mario 3D Land has short obstacle courses, not big, open things to explore. That's not to say that the Vita didn't have plenty of other problems, but I think that this mindset was a major factor. It was the right idea at the wrong time. Because fast forward to 2024 and everything has changed. The Nintendo Switch kind of eased everyone into console-quality gaming on the go. But at the time that it launched, it was wild because it shattered the barrier between Nintendo's successful handheld branch and their at the time not very successful home console branch. I think the Switch warmed people up to the idea, but now we have things like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and other devices like it that have taken it even further. It seems pretty clear that people are craving full-sized, even PC-like experiences on handheld systems. Add to that the fact that more and more AAA games are hitting mobile, seems to point towards a market that's hungry for big experiences on a mobile device. I think a modern Vita would have thrived in this environment. By today's standards, its AAA games are kind of quaint. But for the time, they were blockbusters. The rumors surrounding what Sony might actually be working on are kind of wild. Things like supporting native PS5 games without any streaming required. Sony used to be a big player in the handheld market, and this could be their chance to reclaim their spot. Let's dive into everything we know, what Sony's up against, and why now might be the perfect time for a handheld PlayStation comeback. So, the rumors. According to the leaks, Sony's new handheld is being designed to play PS5 games natively. And that is wild because you would expect that sort of thing from something with an internet connection required. We're in the age of streaming, so you can point towards something like the PS Portal and be like, yeah, that runs PS5 games. And you're kind of right. But the idea that Sony could shove everything from their Wi-Fi router into a mobile device is a little unbelievable. It would go to show how different this is from the PS Portal, considering that thing's entirely streaming-based. So it would make sense for the upsell to be you can run those things natively. And if you haven't heard much about the PlayStation Portal, it's essentially a device that Sony launched recently that lets you stream PS5 games within your local home network. It's still running on your PS5. You can't use it without your PS5, but it does give you the opportunity to play your games on the toilet, in the bathtub, on your bed, whatever floats your boat. And I've seen mixed reviews of the thing. I think overall it was decently well received. But despite the fact that you can call it a PSP, which makes me very happy, it's not an actual handheld. So whatever they're cooking sounds different. It's positioned as a direct competitor to devices like the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck. It's just kind of sad to see Sony late to their own game. And again, these are all rumors, but some of them say that this is going to be years out in the future, which means we could have the PS6 before we have this thing, and so it would essentially be playing last-gen games, which makes a little more sense, and it wouldn't cannibalize their home console market. It just seems odd to kind of build it on that. No matter what, it's still going to be leaps and bounds ahead of the Switch. And who knows, maybe they'll get around to releasing it before Nintendo gets around to releasing the Switch 2, so easy competition. But speaking of competition, Sony used to only be competing with Nintendo. Obviously, mobile got in there. There was always a few third-party options out there. But for the most part, the last time they competed in this market, it was a two-horse race. You have to convince people that they don't want a small-scale experience like the Switch, and they don't want the full PC experience on a Steam Deck. Like I said, the market's hungry, but there's more competition now. In comparison, let's go back to when the PSP first launched. I feel like I'm looking at this part of history through a glass window because I was always on the Nintendo side, but thought, man, that grass looks greener. But I never actually pulled the trigger. For the PSP, it released in 2004, and it was huge at the time. It brought full 3D gaming to a handheld system at a time when the Game Boy Advance was still rocking pixel art and basic sprites. If we're talking graphics, it blew the DS out of the water. You had a whole bunch of console ports directly onto your handheld. You could play PS2 games on the go. And on top of that, they really leaned into the media player stuff, which the DS could not touch. You could watch movies on these things called UMDs, which were like these crazy fragile discs. But they also led the charge when it came to downloading media, and you could listen to music, browse the web. It was a jack of all trades, and it was beloved. By the time it reached the end of its life, the PSP had sold over 80 million units, which didn't touch the DS to be clear, but was not shabby. And then there was the PlayStation Vita. Oh, the Vita. Released in 2011, it was everything you could possibly want in a handheld. Dual analog sticks, an OLED touchscreen, and enough power to run games that looked and played like full console titles. It was beautiful, but it flopped. Fun fact, while Nintendo and Valve both released OLED versions of their handhelds after the initial release, Sony led with a beautiful OLED screen, and nobody appreciated it, so they took it away in the slim version. There is an argument that it kind of occupied an awkward area where these were still spin-off games, so they're not quite the full experience, but they're close, and maybe that was a turn-off for some people. But especially at launch, this thing had some powerhouse titles behind it, especially Uncharted. My god, I wanted that. But since then, everything has changed. The Switch came along in 2017 and completely rewrote the rules. It proved that people do want console-quality gaming on handhelds, especially if they only have to buy one console and it's both. Breath of the Wild is not a game that would have been released on the 3DS just because of the nature of how it's so open-ended and full of exploration. Because Nintendo was developing for their quote-unquote home console, it opened the door for handheld devices to get new experiences. Oh, and then you got the Steam Deck. Valve took the idea of the Switch and cranked it to 11. This thing isn't just a chunky handheld, it's a portable PC. People are playing their entire Steam libraries on the go. Games like Elden Ring, Cyberpunk 2077, stuff that you would never consider to be mobile games or optimized for gaming on the go. This also had the advantage of sharing your library of Steam games that you already owned. You probably didn't buy those games to play on the go. You bought them because you wanted them, and now you can play them on the go. There are a bunch of other handhelds that have followed suit. Clearly there's an appetite for this, but I also really like what Apple's doing right now with the iPhone. Candy Crush-style mobile game experiences are never going to go anywhere. But there seems to be more of a divide on mobile devices than ever before between those traditional mobile games and things like Call of Duty Warzone or Star Wars Hunters that are very much a traditional console game. Meanwhile, Apple's like, hey, you want to play Death Stranding on your phone? No? Here it is. This is helped by how incredibly powerful mobile chips can be these days. I mean, I guess it's gonna have to be to run PS5 games, my god. Again, you obviously couldn't have brought AAA games to mobile back at the time, but people weren't really hungry for it either. I wish the Vita could have seen this day. Sony, I dare you to call it the Vita 2. In reality, I want it to be called PSP 3. Back to the PS Portal for a second. I think it's kind of relevant here. If you think about it, one of the Portal's biggest strengths is its design. If Sony's going to release a handheld, it's probably going to look a lot like this. I think its design is one of its biggest strengths. You have a lot to prove when it comes to a device like this because I can just stream my PS5 to my phone with a different controller, you know? But having the actual DualSense controller built into the whole thing, it's a bit appealing. Like, I love my Backbone controller, but this is another level. You get the adaptive triggers, the haptics, the layout, all the stuff that makes the DualSense one of the best controllers ever made. And while the Portal is limited to in-home streaming, it highlights a really important point. A dedicated handheld should keep up all the benefits of Sony's controllers. That's a massive advantage over a phone setup. Let's say we live in a world where the iPhone continually gets more and more AAA games, all the Assassin's Creed, all the major things that you would expect. You get a simultaneous launch on the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and the phone. You have to have a distinct reason why people want to shell out even more money, especially if they already own a PS5, to be able to take those games on the go in a dedicated thing. Because these things aren't supposed to replace your phone, I like it when they're chunky. Let the thing be big. I'll carry a suitcase around with me to haul it around. So what would it actually look like? Again, it probably would just look like the PS Portal, but thicker. It'd be great to have something well integrated into the PlayStation ecosystem. It would essentially give you a second PS5, something that you could have cross-save and cross-buy support. You play your games on the PS5 when you're home, then pick up right where you left off on your handheld when you're on the go. It is a little bit of a big ask for people to have both the home console and the portable, when in theory the portable can run everything that the full-size console can. That's the thing that I keep coming back to in terms of why this seems odd. Where does this fit into their product categories? I guess if it's going to take years to come out, then it's last gen's console on the go? To me, it would make a lot more sense to have a hybrid approach when it comes to running some of the games off of its native hardware and some of it being streamed in to enhance the textures and, give it that extra frosting. The age of streaming games was just getting started when the PS Vita was around. You could do some streaming from your console to that thing as well, but you were missing a lot of the controls, so I don't know. The rumors are probably legit, but I'm very interested to see how this thing will come together, especially because apparently Microsoft's maybe working on something that they also say is years out. I would be way more surprised to see an Xbox version of this compared to a PlayStation version. But it'll be cool to see how they take on the challenge. Competition's tougher than ever. Who knows, maybe Nintendo might actually release the Switch 2 someday, and then they'll have to compete with that in comparison. I don't see a world where that's as powerful as the PS5, but I'm ready to be surprised. If Microsoft's also making a handheld, then they're going to have to compete with that one way or another, and that's going to have the full force of Game Pass behind it, so good luck. If this is the bar we're at right now for handheld consoles, I am very excited. I really do want to see Sony succeed if they make this thing. They're not my favorite company, they're not even my favorite game console, but I would love to see more competition in the space, and I just love the idea of the PSP returning. Please call it the PSP 3. Thankfully, if it's a PS5, then they already have great support for it. They already have the first-party exclusives. They already have the third-party support. Just please do not add proprietary memory cards. So here's the big question. Is the world finally ready for what the Vita was trying to do all along? I think it is. Thanks for listening to my vibes-based analysis. The market has shifted, handheld gaming is thriving, and Sony has all the pieces they need to succeed. So I just want to see him pull it off and not do another Vita. We'll see. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is this the right time for Sony to jump back into handhelds? What would you want to see that would differentiate this from a PS5, especially if you had to buy both? If you enjoyed listening, maybe hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.